The IPSS, Shelved or Disengaged. The Intimate Partner Secondary Source, IPSS. Who is this? Briefly, these are the ways in which the IPSS will manifest. Number 1. Someone the narcissist is dating, where intimacy has occurred. 2. The narcissist is already in a relationship with somebody, married, living with them or their partners, but there is a victim on the side who is a mistress. 3. The narcissist is in an existing relationship, but also has a victim as a side piece, a booty call, or an occasional shag. 4. The narcissist is already in a relationship, but the victim and the narcissist know one another through repeated and extensive online interaction, which has become intimate in nature. 5. The narcissist is in a relationship with somebody else, but they also have an engagement with a victim who they may see for a weekend or a few days, and they then do not see this person for several weeks or longer. There is intimacy in the relationship. Or 6. The narcissist is not in an existing relationship, but the victim corresponds with the situation as per 3, 4, and 5 that I have just described. Essentially, if you are intimate with the narcissist, from kissing, mutual masturbation over Skype, through to full sexual intercourse, you would not be the primary source, and you are seen by the narcissist more than once, you will be the intimate partner secondary source. As I have explained in alternative videos, the IPSS manifests in 3 key ways, so far as we are concerned. 1. You have been selected with the intention of becoming ultimately our intimate partner primary source. You will therefore experience an intense seduction, although this may not quite occur if you are ensnared with a lesser narcissist, and therefore you are deemed a candidate IPSS. You may lose this position and never reach IPPS. You may not start as a candidate IPSS, but become one. 2. You have been selected as a shelf intimate partner secondary source, which means we do not yet, and may never, see you as becoming the intimate partner primary source. Nevertheless, you are a valuable appliance, and thus we pick you up and put you down. You may later become promoted to a candidate IPSS. 3. You have been selected as a dirty little secret IPSS. We see you often, but only for short periods, and you are hidden from virtually everyone else in our lives. You may also remain in this position, or you may become a shelf IPSS or candidate IPSS over time. In the first category of candidate IPSS, we do see a lot of you, maybe not every day, but the intensity of this seduction, save where the narcissist is a lesser, demonstrates you are on the fast track to becoming installed as our intimate partner primary source, and enjoying the embedded golden period thereafter until the inevitable devaluation. Where you are a shelf IPSS, assuming you remain in this role throughout, you will experience an elongated golden period, but also periods where there is no or minimal contact. This is when you have been placed on the shelf. It is not devaluation. It is not disengagement. Where you are a dirty little secret IPSS, we see you often, but you do not become enmeshed in our lives to any degree. Family, colleagues, and friends do not know you, or if they do not know of you as someone who is engaged in an intimate relationship with us. You also have an elongated golden period, but you are kept hidden away, never receiving wider recognition. It is a relationship of hotel rooms, distant restaurants, and short, furtive interactions. Those who are the IPSS regularly struggle with ascertaining whether they have been placed on the shelf or have they been disengaged from. Of course, once you realise that you are with a narcissist, you should not actually be particularly concerned with whether you are on the shelf or whether you have been disengaged from, save to the extent this assists you engaging the behaviour of the narcissist and what will happen next. But as we all know, your emotional thinking surges, and you end up ruminating on this question: have I been placed on the shelf, or have I been disengaged from? When you are an IPSS, you have competition. Your competition comes from 1. The intimate partner primary source, because there usually is one. 2. Other intimate partner secondary sources. This is often the case, although not always the case. And 3. Non-intimate secondary sources, friends, family, and colleagues of ours. How does this competition manifest? 1. With the IPPS, they will be in devaluation, and that is why we are engaging with you as an IPSS. The primary source may be oblivious to your existence, may actually know of you but not know what is happening, or may even be made aware that we are having an affair with you. The primary source will be granted respite periods, which, because the primary source has been painted white again, will then impact on how the narcissist engages with you. 2. The other intimate partner secondary sources may outshine you, which will then impact on how the narcissist regards you. The other intimate partner secondary source or sources may cause problems for the narcissist, which will then impact on how the narcissist interacts with you. They will be using the narcissist's time in gaining his or her attention, which will again impact on you. There may be a candidate IPSS, which will then have a severe impact on your position as a shelf IPSS. Conversely, if you become the candidate IPSS, this will elevate you above the other intimate partner secondary sources and thus impact on them. 3. Whilst non-intimate secondary sources are clearly not competing with you in an intimate sense, they will of course be advantageous to the narcissist, and in certain instances, their involvement with the narcissist will impact on you. If, for example, you are a dirty little secret, then when the narcissist is engaging with family and friends, you will invariably suffer in that regard, because you cannot be present when the friends or family are. Thus, this is the competition. There are, of course, other material factors, which are the intrinsic factors. These are: 1. Have you done something to wound the narcissist? Is the wounding minor or severe? 2. Have you exposed the narcissist in some way? 3. Have you rejected, threatened the narcissist's control? And is this minor or major in nature? 4. Have you broken down in some way? So, how can you tell, as an IPSS, whether you have been shelved or disengaged from? The prevalence of the competition factors results in you being placed on the shelf. You will not have suffered any devaluation. Thus, if we have granted a respite period to the primary source, we will not have any desire to see you as the intimate partner secondary source. However, there is no need to disengage from you, and instead you are placed on the shelf for an indeterminate period of time. Of course, since it is a respite period, this may only last for a few days, possibly weeks, and maybe even months. You will remain on the shelf during this respite period. Even when it ends, we may select a different IPSS to engage with, and thus you remain on the shelf. Accordingly, it may feel like a disengagement because you have not seen us in months, but it is not disengagement. You can tell if you are on the shelf because you will have not been blocked by us on social media or on the telephone. We may not answer your calls, but you will receive a message from us at some point, not always straight away, which will be in line with the descriptions contained in the video, Crumbs of Conversational Comfort. You will note from that video the timing and method of those crumbs and the ways in which they appear. We are polite, civil, often enthusiastic, and often future-fake, as we wish to keep you engaged but on the shelf. We do not want to see you, but we do not wish to lose you. Thus, this will be done to keep you warm and on one side. You are on the shelf when you are still able to communicate with us, albeit at a reduced rate, and our responses are benign. You can, of course, find yourself being disengaged from whilst you are on the shelf, but that is a different topic. In terms of disengagement, when you are the IPSS, this happens because of the presence of the intrinsic factors. If the nature of the intrinsic factor is minor, then you will be given a corrective devaluation. Thus, you may be insulted and we storm off and do not answer your calls, giving you a silent treatment. But note, you are not blocked. Blocking would equate to disengagement, and of course, if we block you, how would we gain the fuel that arises from your repeated pleading text messages? You may receive an absent silent treatment as part of this corrected devaluation, but it will not last for an extensive period, a few days, maybe a week. You will be ignored, but not blocked. If you do not respond to this corrected devaluation in the desired way, you may receive another corrected devaluation, or the original will be extended, and then maybe another, dependent on the nature of the narcissist. However, you are moving closer to receiving a disengagement devaluation, and then disengagement if you do not yield and respond in the expected and desired manner. When you are an IPSS and you have been disengaged from, you will be able to recognize this because 1. One or more of the intrinsic factors will be present. 2. The relevant intrinsic factors will be major in nature, or several minor intrinsic factors are aggregated where you have failed to respond appropriately to the corrective devaluations. 3. You may actually be told that the relationship is over, that we do not want to see you ever again, although such words are not always used. 4. You will be blocked, deleted, unfriended, etc. 5. If you manage to somehow engage with us, for instance turning up to see us in person, we will ignore you or respond in a malign fashion. 6. You will be smeared, which you may learn about but not necessarily. 7. There are no conversational crumbs of comfort. Accordingly, you need to ascertain whether you are an IPSS to begin with, and then based on what I have described, work out whether you are on the shelf or whether you have been disengaged from. Your emotional thinking will be looking to cloud the issue. Therefore, if you require certainty, then consulting with me will remove any doubt as to the situation you are in. Whether you are on the shelf or disengaged from, you of course remain at risk of a future Hoover, since it is a Hoover which either takes you from the shelf, removing the suspension of the formal relationship with the narcissist, or engages with you once again as the formal relationship is resurrected.